On this video, we are tasting the very delicious ancient Ethiopian coffees. Hey guys, my name is Theo Le Roux and welcome to this video. Guys, I am so excited for this video. So, Ethiopian coffee to coffee people is like the most amazing discovery of the history of the world. It is also the type of coffee. So, if you are a coffee drinker, you guys know, because you've seen me, if you're that type of coffee drinker, there's nothing wrong. Drink your coffee. But if you really want to build a respect for coffee on a different level, then you need to, like seriously, I know some people don't like me telling them what to do, but you seriously need to taste Ethiopian coffee. Ethiopian coffee is that coffee that kind of changes almost every single coffee drinker out there. Ethiopian coffee is also the type of coffee that gets a non-coffee drinker to go, wow, that's actually delicious. So Ethiopian is that type of coffee. I'll have in the description below a link to a video on a different channel where the top coffee connoisseurs in the world does a thank you video to Ethiopia for giving us this gorgeous, precious thing that we call coffee. The black gold that drives probably 80 to 90% of the people in the world. It wakes us up, it hypes us, it focuses us, and it gets us running. But before I go on too much about all of this stuff, let's get back to this coffee. So Ethiopian coffee is different, as you've probably realized by now. Now you get about 12 different types of Ethiopian coffees, but today we're only going to be tasting 2 of them. The 4 main ones is basically Sidamo, Yirgacheffe, Limu, and Harrar. Now there's loads of different other ones. I'll also put all the information down in the comments below, or in the description below. But I want to specifically stop at Sidamo and Yirgacheffe, and we're going to be tasting the 2 of them today. So I'm very, very excited about this, as you can probably realize. Now on the table, I've got a few things. We've got the Sidamo, we've got the Yirgacheffe. Now the Sidamo is an MR2, so it's not a very high grade because it's the common coffee. It's a mixed berries or wild berries, and there's a bit of fruitiness, there's a bit of earthiness, and very slight touch of tobacco right at the back because it's a medium roast. But then we've got the Yirgacheffe. Now the Yirgacheffe is a 83 graded coffee. So on a scale of 1 to 100 in tasting, it scales 83 out of 100. It's very, very high. And so we do this as a light roast, which is the reason why it's so exclusive and so fruity and so beautiful. So I've got on this side the beautiful Yirgacheffe, and I've got on this side the as well gorgeous Sidamo. Now, very important, so that's some of the stuff. I've also got here a glass of water. So very important, if you're doing cupping at home, always reset the palate going between the 2 different types of coffees so you can make sure to pick up those flavor notes very, very clear. Then I've also got another cup to rinse the spoon. Then we've got some water. The water is not boiling. Never use boiling water because you do burn your coffee and that makes the coffee bitter. So try and stay away from boiling water. The water here is probably about 75, maybe 78 to 85 degrees Celsius. So it's hot enough to get the coffee to fuse very beautifully with the water, but it's cold enough not to burn the water. Cool. Then we're using 5.5 grams of coffee, and we will be using 100 milliliters of water. Then, very important, always a scale because we use a coffee recipe. So we are going to pour 100 ml of water in each cup. Now I like to go slightly high when I pour because, there we go, 101.1, that's close enough. I like to start pouring fairly high because I want the coffee to mix very well with the water. I don't want some dry coffee grounds hanging on the water, not going wet. So I always like to start like a low, and then I go like a high, and then come back down to mix it well, all the way to 100 grams. Hey, oh, 101.8, almost too much, but I'm sure that's close enough. I can put the scale away. And now we let it brew for a bit. So while it brews, I just want to, let's go a bit into Ethiopian coffee. So in the 8th century, the story is told. So if your story is different from mine that you've heard, please, I'm just recalling the story that I've learned from reading and listening to loads of different things. But this is the most common story and it tells the best. So this is why I enjoy this story. So Ethiopian discovered in the 8th century by a goat herder. Takes his goats into the mountain every single day to go and herd. And one day, instead of going down the mountain, he decides to go up the mountain. Going up the mountain, he discovers these funny looking trees. He notices when his goats eat it, they start acting funny and they're very energetic and very playful. And so he decides, horrible decision, to walk closer, grab it and put it in his mouth. Guys, if your goats are going crazy, turn around and walk away. Now I'm very glad that he didn't, because he discovered the coffee cherry, which is a phenomenal discovery. The goat herder then took one of those, popped it in his mouth, and also he tells that he experienced all of these strange kind of feelings. And so out of that, he grabbed a few of those cherries, popped it in his back pocket, went back down the mountain to the village, went to the high priest, gave it to the high priest, and to this day, loads of different churches use it. Obviously, all types of coffee shops use it, and a lot of people in the world use it for the same reason. It relaxes us, it focuses us, it stimulates our senses, and it gets us to do the job or just relax with other people around a beautiful cup of coffee. It helps us as a culture to connect to one another. And that's the gorgeous thing for me about coffee. So this has been brewing now for a little bit. So we're going to be breaking the crust real soon. And if you guys have a look at this beautiful crust, it is so gorgeous. You see this beautiful crema on top? It's a gorgeous little crema over here. And that's kind of where the flavor notes of the coffee lingers. So it hangs there. Now, the Ethiopian way of coffee is slightly different. We will be making you guys 2 videos about Ethiopian coffee, more on top of this one, which is the Ethiopian ceremony, which is exactly how the Ethiopians actually drink their coffee. And then we'll also do the equipment that they used in those ceremonies, or back in the day, how they used to, and even to this day, still brew their coffee. It's amazing, amazing. So do hit the little notification or the subscription button and the little notification bell to make sure that you get the notification when we upload those videos. Okay, so we're going to break this first one's crust. The way you broke your crust, normally with a stainless steel, so always do a tasting with a stainless steel spoon. I do it a little bump down. We go into the coffee, we swirl it twice, bring it out, and smell the back of the spoon. But don't try and smell it up here. Get your nostrils way down to the cup. So let's do this. Oh man, what a beautiful, beautiful aroma. Beautiful and earthy, nice and sweet. And being the Sidamo, even a little touch of tobacco, but like a sweet cigar type of tobacco there in the back of the nostril. Now for my favorite, the Yirgacheffe. Oh, so sweet, so gorgeous that berries just jump out. There's even some beautiful grapes in there. Oh, I just love this coffee. This coffee has really changed my perspective of coffee in the world. So if you haven't had Ethiopian speciality, do yourself a favor, go to your closest coffee shop and try it. It is amazing. Now, very important, always grab your cup and reset the palate. We're going to be starting with the Sidamo. So you just go into the cup, pick up a bit of coffee, and then slurp. The more oxygen, the more flavor. So don't be afraid to slurp. Even if you're sitting in the public coffee shop, slurp at it. That's where the gorgeous flavors are. Now, important is, there's loads of important notes here. First slurp only opens up your taste receptors. Now focus on the difference between the first slurp and the second slurp. Oh man. Slightly sourish. So the flavor notes that I'm picking up on, tip of the tongue, green apple, maybe even some yellow apple. Center of the tongue, very apricotish, but almost a greenish apricot, so it's not completely ripe yet. So an unripe apricot. Side of the tongues, side of the tongue is almost like a lime skin. Very, very nice, very subtle. Back of the tongue, slightly earthy, not too earthy, just a good balance of earthiness. And a very interesting bitter flavor. The bitter flavor is almost pine-ish, like pine wood. Now, of course, guys, I've not eaten pine wood. It's the smell that I'm familiar with of pine wood that I'm tasting on my tongue. So very gorgeous, but because it's a medium roast, not my favorite. Now the Yirgacheffe. Remember to reset the palate. Just make sure to get all the other coffee flavors out of my mouth. And here we go. Again, first slurp is only to open up the taste receptors, even though that was a beautiful first slurp. Oh, beautiful, soft green grapes to the front of the tongue. Very soft. So this one, the sour levels is not as high. It's almost like a sweet lemon. But now, with Yirgacheffe, because it's a grade 1, if you take some into your mouth and you let it hang in your mouth before you swallow, and you focus on the side of your tongue, you actually taste the sourness of a strawberry. That is such a gorgeous, gorgeous flavor. The back of the tongue, so if you're familiar with lychees, If you take the lychee skin off, you bite into the lychee and you use your tongue to take the pip out of the actual lychee. It's got this very thin layer of skin over the seed of a lychee. The bitterness of that lychee skin is what this bitterness is like. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous bitter flavor. Now normally I don't like bitter, but this bitter is beautiful. Oh. Well guys, hopefully you're satisfied like I am. If not, go and taste this coffee. If you guys are watching this, I really appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up because YouTube likes it. And please, in the comments down below, please tell us what is your favorite type of Ethiopian coffee, because all of our palates are different. So even though I might enjoy the Yirgacheffe the most, you might enjoy the Limu. You never know. So you need to go and taste all of them so that you can discover what your palate deserves. Also, do hit the subscribe button. See you on the next video.